we got a little question, a little fan mail question, and I thought it was a fun question, something to have a little fun with. And it's a good question because
Hmm.
I think I've seen people talking about this topic around human design before, and I have my own thoughts on it. And I think it's, well, of course, it's relevant. It's what I think. So
I mean, we do come here for your thoughts.
just my thoughts. Okay, thank you. So I thought I would turn it over to you again to have the honors of reading the question so that I can then respond and answer the question. We could chat about it for a few minutes.
Alrighty. So here we go. Hello. Love your podcast. My question is this. I am a manifesting generator and my business is an emotional manifester. I ran the biz chart at the inspirational aha moment when I realized I wanted to start the business and have been slowly building it up. How do I reconcile the two different strategies that an that a manifesting generator versus manifester would follow? My instinct says I would wait to respond, but I'm not sure. Thank you.
Okay. So, interesting question, huh?
Yes, I
Yes.
wasn't even aware that there was business uh generators
Charts.
charts. Yeah.
Charts. Yeah. Well, there is. So basically there's no set rules to like running a business chart like around there is other things. Obviously, your human design chart is based on when you were actually born, and we have a
Hmm.
time and date for that. And the whole system is built around the individual and people. But we also know that the the chart is marking a moment in time. When we're
Hmm.
running a chart, it's marking a specific moment in time and what the influences were at that time, because it's all based around the neutrinos and what's passing through the cosmos and where the sun is and everything else. So I think there's a approach to this that is useful, but also kind of a grain of salt type of thing, in the sense like it's not a person. Your business is not a person. It is an
Hmm.
expression of you usually. And I think if anybody who has ever tried to start a business, you know that it's going to be one of the most, let's see, one of the most expanding things you can do for your personal development. It can be a spiritual practice, like all these things, because when you're working for someone else, a job or whatever, there's parameters around what you're supposed to do, and
Hmm.
what's expected of you, and someone else is kind of in charge. But when you are trying to start your own thing in your own business, it's like there's not really anybody to tell you what to do and
Like,
how to do
where's
it.
the adult? I need help.
Exactly. It's the hardest case of where is the adult in the room, and why can't somebody just tell me what to do? But then that's why we do it, because we don't want to have to answer to someone else and have somebody
Hmm.
tell us what to do. So the entrepreneurial journey is a personal growth journey, is a spiritual journey, and I 100% believe that. Obviously, that is like, I mean, big part of my design is like it's about work and
Hmm.
work that you love. And since I'm a generator, it's about work because my sun gate is in gate 14, which is producing those resources to continue doing the things you want to do and blah 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 blah. So in asking this question, I think her instincts, I'm just going to assume it's a her, are correct in following her manifesting generator strategy and authority, because ultimately her business is an expression of her. So it's going to be how she is moving in the world is how this is going to move this business forward. I think
Hmm.
when you look at your business design or design of your business, it can show you different things, because I have run a chart before, and there's no, like I said, there's no hard and fast rules. It's really what you feel in your heart was like the start of your business, the impetus of your
Hmm.
business. What did
Yeah.
she say? She
Sh-
ran it for when she,
At the inspirational aha moment when I realized I wanted to start the business.
okay. And that's great that I know when that was. I
Yeah.
don't. It takes me a long
You
time.
just kind of sit on it and ruminate and let it stew.
forever. And so I didn't really know for sure. So, but I did what I did when I ran a chart, I ran the chart for the day that I received the first paid money from
Mm,
someone for
okay.
doing a read. It was for a gift certificate someone had bought. It was someone here locally. So I had a
Mhm.
check. She
Mhm.
wrote me a check. And so I was able to say, okay, even though I had been doing readings, it was like just
That felt like the
one-offs.
most like real
Yeah,
thing.
because she wasn't she was somebody, well, I through a connection that she paid me. And so I didn't know her. It was through someone else, but I had been doing readings for family and friends and just dipping my toes in this. So this was the first one. So when I ran the chart, it also came up for my business of being an emotional manifester as well. And what I think is interesting is that that is definitely not my type. I'm a generator, I'm an emotional generator. And so I'm still going to be responding as this person should be responding to things outside of themselves when they're
Mhm.
making those decisions or how they're moving forward or how they're going to propel it forward. Being a manifesting generator, she may try different things, but still is going to be responding to something. And as far as the business side of it, what the value in that chart can be, I think is showing you more what the gates are, what the flavor is, what that is going to, how that's going to influence the business progress. So, does that make sense, first of all,
I think
what
so.
I'm saying? Okay.
Mhm.
So, you know, it does not mean I can run my business nor she can run her business as a manifester person. Because if you think about it, like the transits, they can give
Mhm.
you a flavor of something, right? And you can
Right.
experience that energy and what it's like, but it doesn't change your type or anything. It doesn't change anything in your design. And this is
Mhm.
the same concept. This is something to look at and experiment and play with, but it doesn't change her fundamental design as from when the day she was born. So it's
Mhm.
always follow your birth chart for that. But what it could be interesting is seeing, okay, so what is the gifts bringing forth in my business? So if I decided this is the day that I'm going to say my business started, what did the cosmos have to say about it? And what
Mhm.
I found was interesting when I ran mine is that my uh, sun and earth is in the 2343.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And my unconscious sun is in gate 30 and unconscious earth is in gate 29. And so you could look at like the incarnation cross that brings up the left angle cross dedication because it was a 6-2 as well, it says
Hey.
profile. Yeah. And so I find it interesting because it also has a lot of definition in. So basically, in this configuration for my business, the channels I have defined are, or the business has defined, the 6124 defined head and ajna. That's the same channel that goes down to the 4323 to the throat.
Mhm.
So it's the ahas, the gate of mystery, the finding meaning, all that stuff. And then my definition or the definition for the business goes all through the emotional side of the chart, the experiential side. It at this moment in time that I decided this is when my business started, it had definition in gate the channel 4130, which starts in the root, goes to solar plexus, and then from the 36 up to the 35. So that to me is like, I
You
think
had
a
both
lot of
those
what,
channels?
yeah, and the 1222 right next to it,
12.
individual expression.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it has those knowing channels coming straight down to the throat, and then it has those channels going from the root to the solar plexus to the throat about experience, about feeling, wanting to
Mhm.
create a feeling, experience, connection, and the 1222 being about the channel and grace and speaking when it feels appropriate and expressing your feelings and your emotions. And so there's a lot of that energy of this business, to me, I would say it was like, oh, well, this could kind of give me a roadmap if I was going to go that route, or if I'm ever in doubt. This is the energy that was coming
Hmm.
through the universe at the time when I decided I was going to give this a go. And so
Yeah.
it's funny because that was 3 years ago, over 3 years ago. And it makes way more sense to me now than it did then. But then you could
Yeah.
also have the case of like, well, they say as long as you, even if you don't understand your body graph, if you just have a visual of it, look at it, maybe put it somewhere you can see it, it works on the subconscious anyhow. So maybe this has been going in the background all the time and I didn't know.
Hmm.
So I would say to the listener who had this question, pondering more of looking at your chart, not as a way for you to operate in your business, but really what is the personality,
Hmm.
the vision almost, or the influence you might have in the world, but not
Yeah.
how you go about getting there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying because, like you said, it's kind of like the transits. Like it's showing you kind of how the flair of the business would be, but the in terms of like business is run by people,
Mm-hmm.
and people are the ones that have things to respond to make the decisions. Like, so it makes sense to follow your own personal design when trying to make those decisions, but
Mm-hmm.
then the business chart kind of gives you that, like you were saying, gifts, flair, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of little extra bit.
Well, zhuzh.
Oh, zhuzh.
Or really see if you're on track, if that's where
Yeah.
you want to go. And there's a lot in there. It's quite interesting. And I mean, you could take it one step further and see if you want to run a connection chart between you and your business, but still, it's not a person. It's just kind of it's almost like a foundation
Hmm.
chart, as far a transit chart, like you said, but it does have the conscious and unconscious sides to it. So it's just, I think, something more for fun and something to contemplate and see if this feels true and aligned with your business. And if it doesn't, then, well, dig into that. Is it
Hmm.
really that important to you? Or, I mean, not your business, this information here, does it not feel right? Was that really the start of your business, or was it
Hmm.
another time or so? That's my thoughts on it. There's lots of thoughts about business, human design, and how you can use it. And it's fun to look at all these aspects of it. And I think they can clearly help you get some clarity when you're looking at your own chart around what you offer and everything else. But
Hmm.
there's no hard and fast rules for it. And there are probably gonna be people who disagree with me on how I see this, and that's okay. That's all right. Whatever.